I'm a 27-year-old woman, and this story starts with something that seemed small, just a little fatigue. At first, I chalked it up to long work hours or not eating properly. But then the bruises started showing up, big ones, without any reason. They didn't fade. Then came the nosebleeds, completely random and hard to stop. One even started in the middle of a client meeting, and I had to excuse myself in embarrassment. I finally booked an appointment with a general physician. He checked me over, asked a few questions, and ordered some blood tests. He told me they'd call if anything stood out. I didn't think much of it. At the time, I was staying with my parents for a weekend visit. My phone had died, so I used their landline for a few calls. I remember laughing about how I'd forgotten my charger like a teenager going home from college. About a week later, my parents' landline rang while I was upstairs napping. My mother answered it. Later that evening, she casually mentioned the doctor had called and said everything was completely normal. She smiled and told me not to stress, that it was probably just fatigue or minor vitamin deficiencies. I took her word for it. She was calm, reassuring. There was no sign that anything was wrong. Over the next few weeks, my symptoms got worse. I fainted in the bathroom at work. One time I stood up too fast and hit the floor so hard I cracked my phone screen. A coworker found me and insisted on driving me to urgent care. They ran a new set of tests and requested my old medical records for comparison. I waited in a cold exam room, scrolling my phone and trying to distract myself. When the nurse practitioner returned, she didn't ask any questions. She pulled up a chart on her tablet, showed me the results, and said, "You were diagnosed with early-stage leukemia 3 weeks ago." I blinked at her. I told her there must be a mistake. I hadn't heard anything like that. She looked confused and tapped her screen a few times. Then she pointed to a scanned copy of the lab report. It had my full name and the date. It was faxed to my doctor, and a note was scribbled at the bottom, "Patient notified. Family contacted." I asked who exactly had been contacted. The nurse said the record showed a call had been made to my listed number, and that someone identifying themselves as my mother received the information. I left the clinic holding a printed copy of the lab report, the diagnosis, the timestamp, the log that proved someone else had taken that phone call. I got home, my legs shaking. My mother was in the kitchen cooking. I didn't wait. I put the report on the table in front of her. She froze. I asked her why she hadn't told me, why she'd lied. She looked cornered. Her eyes darted toward the door like she was looking for an escape. Then she started explaining that they didn't want to scare me, that I'm sensitive and dramatic and would have panicked. She said she thought she could ease me into it once I seemed more stable. I was still trying to process what she meant by that when my father walked in. I told him what had happened, and instead of being shocked, he nodded like they had rehearsed their answers. He said it was for my own good, that too much stress would only make me worse. I asked them who else knew. My mother hesitated, then said she had told my older brother. Then she admitted she also told her sister. She had made them promise not to say anything to me. So, 3 people in my family knew. 3 people had looked at me, spoken to me, watched me faint, and said nothing. They'd watched me go to work, collapse, cry in pain, and never once thought I deserved to know the truth. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just picked up the paper from the kitchen table and walked upstairs to pack my things. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the lab report. I saw the fake smile my mother gave me when she told me everything was fine. I saw my father nodding in agreement like this was something normal, something protective. They didn't act out of love. They acted to control the narrative. They decided that the possibility of me reacting badly was worse than me being able to take action on a life-threatening illness. They took away 3 crucial weeks of time that I should have spent starting treatment. By morning, I had called a rideshare